Now we're going to go into our fraction addition and subtraction. So today we're going to be doing both of them, and I'm going to review with you on this page, this section, letters A through H, and also I, J, and then the last one will be K. So we're going to review all these letters, and then afterwards this page you'll do on your own. And be sure that if they don't fit, the work does not fit here, be sure you do it in your math journal, and above all, be sure you write nice and neat. Okay, so starting off with letter A, we got a simple one. We have 1/3 plus 1/3. So remember, you don't do nothing to your divas, so your denominator is going to be 3, and over here you just simply add 1 plus 1, and that will give you 2. You just add the numerators, and that's it. There's your sum right there. 2/3. Letter B. This time we have a mixed number. We have 1 5/8 plus 1/8. So since we have a mixed number on the top, we need to draw our wall, and we're going to put an imaginary 0 right there. Like I said, if they don't fit there, be sure you write it in your math journal. I want to see nice clean work, not sloppy. Anyways, so now you're going to add your numerators. 5 plus 1, they will give you 6. You keep your denominator the same, which is 8. So we have 6/8. When the numerator is smaller than the denominator, we don't have to regroup or do anything like that. You just leave it alone. And remember, we're adding. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So here's our answer, 1 and 6/8. And what I did here is I wrote 1 5/8 in the number line, because you see how it passes one whole group, and then here you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's 5 out of 8 pieces. And what I did over here, I did one jump, and this represents 1/8. So that's really what I did here, is I showed you where the numbers would be on the number line. Okay. Over here for letter C, we have 1 3/5 plus 1 2/5. So we need to draw a wall again, and we need to add our numerators. 3 plus 2, which equals 5, and then our denominator is 5. Now if you take a look at this, we have a problem. We have 5 pieces out of 5, so that presents a big problem for us. We have to regroup. In other words, you need 5 players to make a team, and you already have 5 of them. Therefore, you don't need 5 over 5. That means you have one whole group. So this one, you need to carry it over to the other side. Regroup. So now, there's going to be nothing over here on the fraction side. There's going to be nothing. Okay? There's going to be nothing there. So all this is gone. You're not going to have any fraction. So you have to regroup over here. Now you have 1 plus 1 plus 1, which equals 3. And there's your answer. If you came up with this answer, 2 and 5/5, I should say, that is wrong. Because remember, this represents one whole group. And that's how you get 1 plus 2, which equals 3. That's how we got it. Okay? Now letter D. Draw your wall again. We have 4 plus 3. So 5, 6, 7. So here's 7, 6. I think we have a problem here. Hopefully you see it, but look how the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So now we have to regroup. I'll make it simple for you. If you're adding, do the opposite, which is subtract. This is what I mean. It's what we did yesterday. We have 7, 6. Remember, we're going to subtract. Look at the denominator. It's 6. Okay, then over here inside the parentheses, put 6 minus 6. Whatever's left is going to be your answer for the fraction. So 7 minus 6 would be 1, and then you keep your denominator the same. So your answer is 1/6. Now, remember, this 6 over 6 is one whole group. This is the one that you got to carry over to the other side because you already have one whole team. So you have to regroup it, and once you do, you have 1, 2, and 3. So 3 is your whole number. So your final answer should be 3 and 1, 6. That should be your final answer. So this whole section, letter A through D, we went ahead and we added. Now when you do this work on your own, if you need to go back to the notes, go back to this part of the video on how we learned how to regroup. Okay, in case you forget, go back to the video and see how we regroup the numbers. Now we're going to go ahead and subtract. To me, this one's even easier. We have two mixed numbers. We have 1 and 8/12 minus 1 and 3/12. So we go ahead and draw our wall. Okay, and then we have 8 minus 3, which should be 8, 7, 6, 5. We have 5/12. I don't need to regroup or anything like that because look, 5 is already smaller than 12. So that's good. We leave it alone. Remember, you're subtracting. So take away 1 minus 1 is 0. So there's your answer. 5/12 is the difference. Simple. Letter F. In letter F, we draw our wall, and then we look over here at our numerators. And again, we're subtracting. 5 minus 1 would give you 4. Your denominator should be 10. Okay, so there it is. So now we're going to get 2 minus 1, which equals 1. So there's your answer. 1 and 4/10 is your answer. Now, for these next two, I highly recommend that you write them in your journals because you're not going to have any space in here. Okay, so be sure you write them in your journal. So let me get my journal. Here's my journal. Okay, so in my journal, I'm going in and put, and this is letter G. We're going to get 2 minus 1 and 1/3. Now the reason why the 2 is on top is because the whole number 2 is bigger than 1. Just because it has a fraction doesn't mean that it's bigger, because a lot of kids would do this. And that's wrong, because why is the 1 on top of the 2? Doesn't make any sense. So be sure you don't make that mistake. Anyways, let's come over here to our journals. So I go ahead and draw my wall. And if I notice over here, you see I don't have a fraction. There's nothing here. I need to put something there. So it could, because in other words, what I'm doing is I'm doing this. The people are telling you have 0/3 minus 1/3. Can you take away 0 minus 1? You can't. You can't do it. You have to borrow. So let me show you how to borrow. Very, very easy. You cross out the 2, it becomes a 1. Now when you carry it over, you don't just put a 1 here. It's a little bit different. You have to put it as a fraction. So you're going to carry over here the 1, and if you look at your denominator, it's 3, right? So if you're carrying over one whole group, you want to say it's 3/3. Because remember, 3/3 equals one whole group. But you cannot put this number here because it's a fraction. So that's how it looks like as a fraction, 3/3. Now you can subtract because the 3 is bigger than the 1. So now you take away 3 minus 1 equals 2. Your denominator stays the same, 2/3. Over here, 1 minus 1 equals 0. And there it is. There's your work. 2/3. Easy. So, and our answer over here, it should be 2/3. Letter H. Okay, here we go. So for letter H, we have, let me draw the wall here, and then we put it in my journal. I'm not gonna have any room here. We're gonna have 4 3/4 minus 1 1/4. Okay, so now let's get ready to subtract. Now let's check to see if we can borrow, or if we have to. Maybe we don't, I don't know. We have 3 minus 1. Okay, we don't have to borrow like we did in the last one, because 3 is already bigger than 1. So just subtract. 3 minus 1 equals 2. The denominator 4, there you go, you keep it, 2/4. Now 4 minus 1 equals 3. So there's our answer, 3 2/4 for letter A. Nothing to it. See? It's pretty easy. And again, look back at this page and look back in this video in case you need to know exactly how to do those steps again. So we're already done with this section here. Now we're going to turn it over to the next page and answer these 2 questions. The following questions are going to be more likely what I'm going to be asking you during your test when you test this Friday. Okay, so these are going to be story problems, so be sure you read, you use the pictures that I gave you, use the color pencils. The color pencils are very, very good to use for these kinds of questions. Alright, so here we go. Instead of Ms. Zamora, again, I'll use Ms. Peña. It says, Ms. Peña used 2 3/6 quarts of cranberry juice and 1 3/6 quarts of raspberry juice to make a fruit drink for her children. Okay, next question, get ready to underline it. Which of the following number sentences can be used to find the number of quarts of fruit drink she made? So we're looking for the number of sentences that can be used to find the number of quarts of fruit drink she made. So let's go ahead and circle important information here. 2 3/6 quarts of cranberry juice, 1 3/6 quarts of raspberry juice. So we need to figure out, is this a joint or separate situation? Read the question again. We want to find the number of quarts of fruit drink she made. So just because it's cranberry juice, it's still a fruit. And just because it's raspberry juice, it's still a fruit. So right here, it's telling me that this problem is going to be a joint situation. We're going to be combining. We're going to add the cranberry juice with the raspberry juice. So already we can eliminate letter A because it says to subtract. And then we can also eliminate letter D. So since we know we have to add, right next to the models, let's go ahead and write the numbers. So for the cranberry juice, we have right here 2 3/6 quarts. For the raspberry juice, we have 1 whole and 3/6. It says it right there. So let's go ahead and add them together. Let's get 2 3/6 plus 1 3/6. Now, in case you haven't noticed, look what I'm missing. Look at what my numbers are missing. They're naked. So I gotta label it. Let's put C for cranberry and R for raspberry, and this will represent the total quarts. Oops. Oops. There we go. Now go ahead and draw your wall and add your numbers. 3 plus 3 equals 6. Your denominator stays the same, so there it is. It's 6 out of 6. Now, when you come over here, look at the whole numbers. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So if you got this answer, 3 and 6 over 6, you're right, but you're not done yet. You need to do something. You need to change this 6 over 6 into a whole number, because again, You have 6 pieces out of 6, which equals 1 whole group. So you guessed it, we have to regroup. So this 1 has to be carried over here. So your answer isn't 3, because if you have 2 plus 1 and then you add 1 more, it really should be 4 total quarts. Okay, so our answer is 4. Now, let's look at our choices and let's see which of these matches between B and C. And look at them carefully. Letter B says 2 and 3/6. We got that. Add it, 1 and 3/6. Okay, we got it. And it equals 3 and 6/12. That one's wrong. I hope you guys see why it's wrong. Look at the denominator. It's 12. Why did it change? Maybe because they added the denominators? Either way, this one is wrong. Look at letter C. 2 and 3/6 plus 1 and 3/6 equals 3 and 6 out of 6. Hey, that's what I got here. But if you look back here, it says it equals 4. Oh, and that's our final answer, 4. Remember, they got 4 because 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole group. And then they said get 3 plus 1, and that's why your final answer is 4. So letter C is our answer. That's all there is to it. And again, guys, label your numbers, read the questions. It's all about the reading. Read the questions, know the math situations, and you'll get it. It's easy. All right, letter J. Letter J, I'll change this one from Dalton, and I'll put Jaden. Here we go. It says Jaden had a wire 8/12 feet long. He cut off a piece 6/12 foot long. What length of the wire did he have then? Sketch to solve. So we need to draw our pictures here because there's nothing there. Always draw pictures. So Jaden, we make our bracket. He had a wire that was 8/12 feet long. We need to make a side note. This represents the total. So let's go ahead and draw the total. So let's draw a picture. We need 12 pieces. Okay, so let's draw a rectangle. And let's cut it into 12 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to shade in 8 pieces. Okay, then we're going to shade in 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So from here to here represents 8/12 a wire. You see how I label my pictures? This is what I want to see from you guys, this kind of work. Now look at the next question. The next sentence, it says he cut off a piece 6/12 feet long. So if he cut it off, did he get more or did he get less? You're right if you said he's getting less. So don't worry about these that are blank because remember you only had 8. So we need to cut off 6. So take away 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this piece represents the ones he cut off, which was 6/12. Now, the ones that are here are the ones that he has remaining. Or these are the ones that are left. How many does he have left? You're right if you said 2/12 is left. Okay, now let's see what the question wants from us. The question wants, what length of wire did he have then? So let me circle important information. One length of wire did he have then? That word then is like them saying how much did he have left. Oh, so you see, the math situation here was a separate situation. We had to subtract. We had to subtract 8/12, so let me write it in an equation. 8/12, this represents the total, and we subtracted, because he cut off wire, 6/12 for the ones that he cut off, and then it equaled 8 minus 6 equals 2/12 is how much is left that Jaden has left. Now, if you look over here, it's a deadly question because it says none of the above. So you should check it at least 3 times. And when you do that, you're still going to get the same answer right here. So it's not letter H, because look at the denominator, 24, it should be 12. Here, I don't know how they got a mixed number. They probably added. We're not adding, we were subtracting. 2/12 is definitely there. So letter J is letter F. But again, this is the kind of work I want to see when you guys do your story problems. Right here, I don't want to see clean papers. Show me your thinking when you get this done. Now to the last one, which is pretty easy. Letter K. Now letter K, we want to know which expression is equivalent, or which it means the same, to 6/5. Okay, so which one is the same to 6/5? So we can already eliminate 2 answers. Look at letter A. The denominator is different. Get rid of it. Letter D. Denominator is different. Get rid of it. Now we're left between B and C. Letter B, if you add them together, it equals 3/6. That's not what we want. We want 6/5. Over here, 5 stays the same, and then you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. That's why our answer is letter C. So now that you guys already went through this lesson, if you need to see the videos again, whether it be from this page, this one, or when we did this one, we did the regrouping, go back to this video and look at the notes, because they are going to help you for this page. So this is the page that if you don't get to finish here, have it for homework. Nobody should turn this in ahead of time. Nobody. Take your time, do the work in your journal. I don't want to see small little numbers here. No. Show the work in your journal, or get separate sheet of paper from the crayon box next to the assignment boxes. Get scratch paper there and show me your work. But you're going to be responsible for number 1, from number 1 all the way to number 12. Okay? And then if you're done with this, go to Reflex. Go to Reflex Math and keep this paper in your folder. Now, as far as your problem solving goes, this is your homework for tonight, basic facts. Right here. Now for your problem solving, here's what I'll do. For 20A and 20B, this would be for extra credit. If you get this done and the answers are correct when I review it with you tomorrow, then you get extra credit for both of them. If you get it wrong, don't worry about it. I won't take points away. It's extra credit. It can only help you. So please, I hope these videos help, and be sure you keep your work for tomorrow.